Well, I am here with Kim Rouse, who is a runner extraordinaire, Iron Woman, and she's also an ultra Ironman too as well. So I'd like to thank you for your time. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it very much. I guess we can get started with how you first got into endurance sports.
Well, I basically was a runner, a marathon runner. I started with the marathon when I was 30. I just was a little jogging oil, and I just started with the marathon after watching Joan Benoit win the first Olympic one, and I just thought I want to do a marathon. So I kind of had, in those days, which was in the early 80s, was very similar to people that are starting it now when they go to sign up for the Leukemia Society, where they may have never really run before. I was that kind of person. I never ran in high school or college. I was a downhill skier, so I started running just to stay in skiing shape. So for the next 10, 12 years, that's what I did. I dropped my times. I went to Olympic trials, competed all over the place, and I didn't get into triathlon because triathlon was very new then, and there were really no programs, and there was just one Ironman. And being from San Diego, of course, I knew all the players and all that stuff, and used to run with them, or they used to run with us. So I guess I looked at the triathlon sport as just being unattainable because I was a wife, a mother, really involved in church and the whole 9 yards, and I thought I could never do that because I looked at what they did and I thought that was crazy. And so then about 6 years ago, I think it was 2003, I'd been pushed a little bit by McKeely and Greg and Sean Welch and Bob Babbitt. They all were like, you need to try the sport, you need to try the sport. And our youngest daughter was in high school, and so we kind of, both my husband and I said, let's try it. But of course he wanted to start with Ironman first.
Boys will be boys.
And well, he's an ultra guy, so I just kind of went along for the ride at first. I really didn't want to do an Ironman, and I just thought I want to dabble in it. And once you do that, it gets in your blood. It feels really good to learn how to swim and learn how to bike. You don't have to be good at any sport to be able to do triathlon, and I think that's the beauty of it.
Oh, well, that's great. That's so you were influenced by Joey Benoit Samuelson, another female, and then Keely Jones. I think you told me the story how she kind of took you under her wing and gave you like the first bike, for the wetsuit.
Oh yeah, I had a borrowed wetsuit, borrowed bike shoes, the whole thing.
Well, I'm sure we can't wait to hear the story about it. Kim is going to be one of our athletes on our athletes panel, so we're very honored to have her there. So what does it mean to you to be invited to be on the athletes panel for GOTRIbal's upcoming conference and retreat?
I feel really honored, really, because even before I did triathlon as a runner, I've always really, really wanted to try to encourage women to try, well, if it's time, try marathoning, to try a 10K, to just get out there. And a lot of women are very intimidated, and I was a little intimidated in the very beginning as well. But once you get it in your blood and you make so many friends, your whole circle of influence, and it's your life really has a lot more meaning when you get into the sport. And now, of course, triathlon, but even running, or let's just say if a person can't run for some reason, they could still do a duathlon. They could still learn how to swim and bike. And there's so many people, doesn't matter really where you live. We're fortunate to live in San Diego with the weather that we have, but anywhere in the country now, there are groups that meet and train, and it's just great to see it get so big.
Right.
I think that women are becoming so much more empowered and feeling good about themselves, and it's great because you really don't have to go on a diet.
No.
You see all these ads for weight loss and such, and so many people that try it for the first time, they never really think about that, but the next thing you know, they've dropped that 10 pounds they put on, post-baby, and they weren't even trying.
Right.
So, and then they feel good and they're smiling and they have a whole bunch of new friends.
And that's so true. I mean, just looking at some of the statistics, the half marathon, the women are taking the lead.
Yes.
If you even just look at the Disney Half Marathon that just happened a couple of days ago, there were more women participants
Yes.
in that event, and same thing with the San Diego Rock and Roll Half Marathon.
That's right.
So, and it's just not women doing it by themselves; they're getting their girlfriends. to
That's
go
right.
with them, too.
That's right. It's exploding, and it's very exciting to see. You know, I did Boston, 90th Boston, and then I did the 100th Boston, and it's just great to see the women's numbers up. And it's fun.
It is. It is. Well, as you mentioned earlier, that you are a wife, you're a mom, you're a grandmother, you work. What would you give, or what tip would you say to any woman who's thinking about doing her first triathlon, or dabbling into it, or maybe doing her half marathon for the first time? What would you say to them?
I think the very first thing is, because there's so many resources now compared to when I started. When I started, I didn't have anything, not triathlon, but when I started running, there really wasn't a lot of information. I would go straight to the local tri club in your city, and if you're running, go straight to a track club, a running club, and it's just such a wealth of information. You don't need to start out blind. That way you see other people that are new and doing it. And I know in San Diego, our tri club is just so phenomenal. We have coaches for everything. If you've never swam before, they take you right with them. They take you in the water, show you how to do everything. So you don't ever have to do it by yourself.
Right.
And that's the best and biggest tip, because you'll learn that in the meetings, you'll learn how to get your shoes fit right, and how, you know, all the equipment. They can steer you to good deals on buying a bike and what level bike you need. I think that's very important. And I know for me, when I first started, I went straight into a master's program for swimming. I never just went and swam on my own. And I had a coach that in my first year, Paul Huddle was my coach. And, you know, I had coached workouts in my program. And because I was very bad at swimming, to be honest, not good at all. And I'm still not all that great, but a little better. He just said, no, just stay in your master's program. Don't pay any attention to that swim workout. And so I just go and I do whatever the workout is with the coaches. I don't ever have to think about it. I could put my own program together now if I'm going to go swim on my own, but I don't really have to.
Right.
And there's so many available between the YMCA and all the different clubs. They're relatively inexpensive as well.
Right.
And with the different times, if you have a job, restrictions, you know, there's a 5:30, a 6:30, and a 7:30 in the morning, and then there's a noon, and then there's a 6 o'clock at night. So you may have to switch your schedule around and work around picking up the kids, but for the most part, you can do it.
Right. And then also having GOTRIbal as a resource now, too.
Yes, and GOTRIbal is now taking off. It's just exciting to see so many opportunities for women to be able to fit something into their life. Because when you're a mom and you have 3 kids, you need your own time.
That's true.
You need to be a better mom, and be a better mom, you need to have some mommy time.
There you go. Well, Kim, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we are looking forward to hearing what you have to say and all your great little stories at the upcoming GOTRIbal Conference and Retreat on October 16th. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I don't know how will I photograph Carl.